All right, we are live for another Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate with local realtors and lenders who come on every week to share their big brains with you guys and tell you guys all about what's going on in real estate right now, which is insane. It's crazy. It's the holiday season. Everybody's holly jolly over houses, but it is great. So we are always fired up to talk about each of these topics. Today's topic is do's and don'ts when under contract. And this is such a good topic. Okay, I literally say that every week, but all of our topics are so good. But this one is really good. And it's always filled with great information from these local professionals here along the Treasure Coast of Florida. So if you've never tuned in before, if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome, and we're excited to share this information with you. You can reach any of the amazing local professionals who are on this call. Their information is in the description of this video. And if you guys end up missing this or want to watch the replay, you guys can watch the replay on our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services. I believed I introduced myself because I always forget that, but my name is Lucie McGuire with Arrow Title Services, in case you don't know me. And I host this every week, but it's always great to have everybody come on, and I'm really excited to talk about this today. So we're going to get right into it and talk about this topic. Again, the topic is do's and don'ts when under contract. And this is ran into 3 parts, just so that you're aware and you know how fun-filled it is. The first part is we're going to talk about each of the realtors and lenders who are on here today are going to talk about their aspect of the topic, and then we'll have a discussion after everyone's spoken, which is always filled with great just back and forth and conversation. And then the second portion is their number 1 top tip of the week, because this is Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. And then the third portion is any announcements that these amazing professionals have coming up, which is always exciting to hear what's coming up down the pipeline. So stay tuned to the end, and we'll be excited to take on that. So let's get started. Peter, you're up first.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Peter Negron. I'm with Barron Real Estate, and I'm coming to you today to talk about the do's and don'ts of what to do when you're under contract. Well, first of all, one of the big do's that you want to do is keep in constant conversation with your real estate professional. You want to make sure that all throughout the course of the contract, but especially when you're under contract, that you're asking any questions that you may have, what responsibilities you may have once you are under contract, what things you should be doing. That way you can be in contact with the person who is trying to schedule your transaction, your realtor or your lender, whoever you need to speak to about any prospective topic. That's who you should be reaching out to. I will tell you, there is some don'ts that are attached to lending especially, but I want to make sure to leave that portion for the lenders. But as far as don'ts, what you don't want to do is forget very important dates. You do not want to forget dates. Last thing you want to do is have to reschedule closings or reschedule any kind of inspections, because that's going to delay your transaction. Especially around these times in the holidays, you do not have time to waste. If you have a closing date anywhere near the holidays, you could miss a day, but that will cause you to miss your closing by a week or 2 weeks. So really be paying attention to your dates. Do not forget dates. As far as making sure that you take care, so this is going to be another do. Make sure that you take care of your responsibilities to that contract until before closing. So if you have any extra deposits that you need to make sure that you take care of, if you have to schedule an inspection, and all of those things will be tracked by your real estate professional. So make sure you keep in constant conversation with them also. That's all I have. And we're moving on to Lucie.
Let's see. Thanks, Peter. Great way to start off the conversation. Appreciate it. All right. So we are going to go on to Alannah. Are you available? Are you on there? Are you with us?
Oh, absolutely.
There you are. All right. Spotlight you. You're up.
Hi, everybody. Alannah with eXp Realty. This is a great topic. Do's and don'ts. I want to hit a don't just because I experienced, the good side of it recently. Make sure that when you're me back up. Peter, you hit the timeline thing on the head, and I've been experiencing folks whose initial response when a decision is made in the midst of the transaction process, they will sign it tomorrow. They want to sign it tomorrow. They want to spend the night thinking more about something after we've worked through it and a decision has been made. And I find that the best experiences I have that don't have any hitches are when you are active about, you're proactive. You make a decision, you go through all the pieces, you ask all the questions, you sign it, you send it back. The ones who streamline that and they're willing to sign on their phone, they're willing to do it right now, those are the people who have great experiences and a lot less frustration than other clients who dilly-dally.
That's a great one. That's a great point. Thanks for sharing that. I think that, you know, just knowing exactly what you want out of the transaction is important throughout, especially with the time right now, right? Because things are going so quickly. So I'm sure somebody else is going to touch on that. But I do want to hit us over to the lender side of things. We're going to hear from the lenders, and then we'll hear from some of the other realtors that are on the call. So Eric, do you want to start us off from the lending side? What are some do's and don'ts? We know that there's a lot.
Yes, good afternoon, Eric Rosberg, Cross Country Mortgage. And I think Peter and Alannah, I think you were reading my mind because I actually want to stick with the do's. One of the most important do's for you to do for a lender. And this goes right back to the target dates. When your lender asks for additional information throughout the process, which unfortunately it's inevitable, an underwriter is going to look at your file, and they're going to come back and say, hey, we may need an updated bank statement, updated pay stub, things like that. It's very important to get those back to your lender within 24 hours. That's my typical request. So just being proactive, just to make sure you hit those closing dates. As you can see, we have title, we have realtors, there's insurance, there's a lot of moving parts. So the more you can help us be proactive and do get the documentation, the more likely we are to hit your closing date. So that's my do.
Love it. Thank you, Eric. All right. So then we will go on to Tony. What do you have to share with us?
So am I able to share my screen by chance?
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah, before I get started, this is Tony Garcia with Cross Country Mortgage as well. So I'll go over, I guess, some of the don'ts, because everybody wants to do the do's, and those are definitely more enjoyable. But as lenders, Eric, Peggy, we know we have to reiterate the don'ts over and over again, and they can make or break things at the last minute. So I'm gonna pull up a little thing here. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. You gotta make sure you
know why?
Share screen twice.
Want to know why? Yeah, I gotta hit that green button that says share screen.
Yeah.
Let's try this again. How about now?
We can.
All right. So some of the biggest ones is do not authorize anybody to pull your credit after we have. Don't go out. Don't go buy furniture. Don't go buy a new car. Don't open up new debt. So basically just don't incur any additional debt here, as you can see. Another big one here. Don't make large deposits into your bank account without at least speaking with your lender first. So just kind of touch base, letting them know where the funds are coming from, how much you're depositing before you do it, because if you do it, it can be too late. You want to have those conversations should be had with your lender up front if they're doing their job correctly and speaking to you. But if not, before you make any deposits, make sure to discuss with them. Obviously, your standard pay is coming from payroll, no issues there. It's just if you're depositing any cash, if you sold something like that. Another big one here, don't spend your money. So even if you're not opening up new debts and going out and opening up credit cards for furniture, don't dig into those savings that you have for down payment and closing costs, thinking you're going to recoup it to buy that couch or something now, because that could hold you off or delay closing or even kill the closing. So keep that in mind as well. Again, don't open any new accounts, and, don't hesitate to discuss, if you are getting funds from somewhere else. But my biggest do, so I can at least have some positive info on this call, sense of urgency. The biggest do with this process, especially now with these times, all of us realtors, lenders, we can all speak on it. It's the busiest we've ever been, ever in the industry. So having a sense of urgency is just going to help everybody. It's not that we're on you to make things difficult. We just want to make sure we can do everything we can to get you to close on time. And the only way we can do it is if we work as a team with that urgency to get things done.
Awesome. Awesome information. Thank you, Tony. And thanks for sharing your screen too. All right. Okay, so now we're going to hear from Peggy. Peggy, what do you have to add to that from the lending side? Look at you, got a contract right behind you to reiterate the point.
I have a giant FAR contract behind me to reiterate the point, and I am so happy to talk about this because I do little lunch and learns and seminars about all this topic. So I am going to talk specifically about what not to do on a contract on a lending side of the story here. So my first big one is, you see right behind me, it says personal property is included in this purchase price. That is a no-no if you're trying to get financing on a property, because, and I see things all the time like lawnmowers, golf carts, furniture included. So what is going to happen if that's included on that contract? The underwriter is going to make me get a quote or a value of whatever personal property is included on that contract, and then I have to deduct that amount from the sales price, because this is a real estate transaction and personal property cannot be transferred and have it be included in the purchase price when there is financing. So I always instruct my realtor partners, do not put any personal property on the contract itself. You can do an addendum for that. So that's big number one. Now, of course, washers and dryers, refrigerators, anything that's attached to the house can convey as real property, just not the personal property. Secondly, repairs. That is going to cause a red flag with underwriters as well. I've seen contracts where the contract is subject to an entire new roof, or it's subject to roof repairs. Now, that's okay. However, I'm going to have to verify that that work was done. And so sometimes, it takes longer than expected, and we're bumping up to the closing date. And now I have to send an appraiser back out to the property at an additional cost to verify that a roof has been put on as per the contract. Anything that's listed as a repair item on the contract, it is a potential red flag or additional cost and work for the home buyer. Also, it's important to make sure when a realtor is filling out the contract to get the spelling of names correctly, and to put all borrowers that are going on the loan onto the contract as the buyers. Let me see, I'm looking at my notes here. Also, on page 3 of the contract, there is the section of who is paying for the owner's title policy. And I don't want to steal your thunder, Lucy, because you may be talking about this, but a lot of home buyers get this mixed up, because on the contract, it says owner's policy, but when in fact, we go to the closing disclosure for lending purposes, it really is the lender's policy that the seller's paying for. And then there's a simultaneous. That's not my expertise, that's Lucy's expertise, but so many people get that mixed up because the terms are different on the contract than they are on the closing disclosure. One other big thing is on the very last, or on page 11 of the purchase contract. It has all of the addendums that can be checked that go along with the contract. And if any of those boxes are checked, I have to have that addendum. So it's really important to make sure that your lender gets the addendums that are checked along with the contract, because the underwriter will absolutely ask for it if it's checked. So that's it. That's all I have. Thanks, everybody.
Great. Great information, Peggy. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, you really hit some good points. And I think I want to add as well to the lending side of things, which I didn't hear one of you get, maybe I missed it, but the fact of not lying, right? Don't lie about anything that you tell your lender. Do not like hide something and be like, oh, well, you know, I have this property that's over here, like in La Town, but you know, I don't need to tell them that. No, you need to tell them everything. They need to know your firstborn. They need to know everything.
We find out everything, and it's better to find it out in the beginning than the day before closing.
Yeah, so I thought that was a good point to bring up as well. And I'll actually, since you brought up the title portion, I'll just insert that here since it's relevant, fresh in the minds. When it comes to that, a lot of people don't know that the owner's title policy is really what's negotiable in that whole process. So lender's title policy is only going to be if you have a loan. And a lot of people don't know that there are two types of policies. There's the loan policy and the owner's title insurance policy. So the lenders, obviously, if you are getting a loan, then they are going to require you to have that lender's policy, but the buyer is always the one paying for the lender's title policy. So the only thing that's negotiable when it comes to who's paying for title on a contract is the owner's title insurance policy. So that is completely state regulated. Look, Katey has a beautiful chart, and I do too, but mine is not currently right in front of me. But it is it's a negotiable thing, but it is completely dictated on the amount of the home. So a lot of people don't realize that some people will go and shop title insurance, but it's going to be the same when it comes to owner's title premium. It's going to be the exact same no matter where you go because it's state regulated. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's go back to the realtor side of things though, and we have Katey Bourgeois share with us what you have to add to the conversation of do's and don'ts when under contract.
I love this stuff. Katey Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Lucie, thank you. Thank you every week, twice a week, for giving us a platform to educate the public about the process and every piece of it. This is a great topic. I love what has already been shared. I just have a couple of things to add. I love going towards the end so I can kind of fill in some of the gaps. When Peggy and Lucie are talking about those closing costs associated with the closing of the contract versus also the closing of the loan. Those are two different things. We're talking about a negotiable instrument of the owner's title insurance policy. And if you read the contract, it says and related charges. So that also means a settlement fee, whether you're on the buyer or the seller side. That includes a permit search, a lien search, and a title search. That all equals out to some money. So ask those questions, get quotes, ask your lender what the fees are going to be. Definitely it's a do. Ask what the fees are going to be and then save that money. And also shop for those services that you can for title to make sure that you're getting the best service and price through, Lucie should be your first call. A little plug for Lucie, Air Title Services there. So I just had a couple things that I wrote down this morning, and I think we do talk about the urgency and we stress time is of the essence in the contract and in communications and in signing things, and don't miss out because you have 5 other people behind you that are going to, maybe take this opportunity away from you because it's a super competitive marketplace. Don't stress. I would say lean on the professionals to do their job. So let the lender, let the insurance folks, let the title company, let your realtor do the heavy lifting for you. So you can just focus on what you need to do. And that's talk to your mortgage lender and get them the documents that they need in order to move the process forward. Go ahead and get insurance quotes on the property, get your inspection taken care of, look at the inspection, get quotes if you have concerns about those things. But rely on your chosen local real estate experts to handle some of the smaller details so that you don't stress out. I didn't hear anyone say, don't buy a car. That's probably one of, the biggest issues that will just kill your home purchase. Don't buy a car, otherwise you will be living in it. I have a little list of some do's and don'ts that were provided by a mortgage lender and don't pay your bills late while you're in the process. Like, your mortgage lender is going to tell you this stuff, but it is super important, you know, to just remind you, don't lie, and pay your bills on time and save your money. No big expenses, no big cash, you know, influxes in or out of those accounts. You know, keep it and communicate with your lender. If there's something happening that you need some help with or some direction, communicate with your lender, communicate with your realtor. If you need extensions on timelines, get those agreements signed immediately, because people change their mind. You know, other opportunities, urgency. I have an insatiable sense of urgency. When I ask somebody to do something, I'm not going to ask 3 times. I'm going to ask it once or twice, and then I'm going to knock on your door. Hey, I'm here. Sign it. That kind of thing. But anywho, fantastic information. I hope I left something for Codi to cover as well.
Well, right.
I'm sure he has something rolled up his sleeve. Thank you so much, Katey, for adding that. I think that, you know, it's always great to just hear all of the different things, and there's so many do's and don'ts. So Codi, take it away, and then we'll get into the discussion portion of it.
Hello, everyone. Codi here, Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Live frugal during the process. I mean, a panel full of professionals here, the information is going to be the same. Basically, you know, keep in touch with your real estate professional. Make sure you understand what's on that contract, because once it goes bilateral, it's full steam ahead. There's no turning back. Make sure you are following up on timelines. Make sure that you are, you know, signing things when they need to be signed. Like Katey said, time is of the essence. You know, I had a person I was trying to get financed. And in the middle of him being pre-qualified, he went and purchased a vehicle. So definitely do not buy a car, you know? So, I mean, it was a wrap after that. There was nothing I could do for him. So, but yeah, keep in touch with your realtor. A good one will have all the resources available to you that you need. You know, follow up on any quotes that you got to get. Make sure you're paying your bills on time. Don't make any big purchases. Don't withdraw any large amounts of money. You know, just make sure that you are following what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you don't, there could be some consequences behind that as well, some of which are financial. So you don't want to find yourself in that position. So just make sure you got your team together, get your money right, and follow your timelines, and you should be okay. That's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Codi. Appreciate it. Great, always great information. So before we get into the discussion portion, I do want to say, if you are watching right now and you are a realtor or a lender and you would like to be added to this discussion, you can always join. Come on in, share your big brain with us. We'd be happy to, we're all so smiley. Look, we want you. So you guys can always reach out to me, send me a message, or email me. My contact information is in the description of this video as well. So feel free to join on. And if you guys are just tuning in now as well, and you want to watch this replay of the great information that these realtors just gave and lenders, you can watch the replay on our Arrow Title Services YouTube channel. Now we're going to get into the discussion portion of this and hear if anyone else has anything to add, but I do want to mention something that kind of came up because we were talking about all these big expenses, right? So we don't want to be making big expenses, but what time are we in right now? We are in the holiday season, and we are in a very big season right now with people purchasing homes right now. It is an insane market, but we're also living in this world where, you know, you can literally get things at the touch of a fingertip, and we all need to because of these upcoming gifts and such like this, and big purchases and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and everything like that. So I would like to hear if anybody has anything to add, like how does the holiday season really affect the process, and maybe what are some things that people should be watching out for? Like what can they do and what can't they do? It might be more on the lending side of things. But yeah, if anybody wants to speak to that.
Now, let me touch on that. So, you know, I tell people all the time, like, you know, especially now in this environment that we're in, lenders are constantly looking at your finances. So before you decide to make a purchase, make sure you don't have so much debt. If you're going to start, you know, shopping, make sure you do that first. Make sure you're not creating a bunch of debt because anything more than 50% is going to give you a problem. So you want to make sure that you can live frugal before you decide to buy.
Okay, good.
If I can add to that, those are great tips, Codi. You have it. I know that you prepare your clients well ahead of time, and that shows because you are very knowledgeable about what to do and how to coach them. So I just wanted to say about getting pre-approved early, especially in this holiday season, is very important. Again, this is Peggy Hornick with East Coast Mortgage Lenders. I keep forgetting to say my name. My personal mantra is that there's no substitute for experience. And if you're working with an experienced lender, realtor, title person, that will save you hours, money, and mistakes. Because when I get a new contract in, I am a second set of eyes to that contract, looking at that as on a lender's perspective, to make sure that there's not going to be anything on that contract that's going to cause a hiccup for the underwriter. And so as a team with my realtor partners, I'm going back and forth saying, okay, we may have to change this or stick this on an addendum rather than on the contract, because I want to make sure that there's going to be no question when that underwriter gets the loan file. And that's the difference between an experienced loan officer and somebody that to look for and hand it off to a processor, and then the processor just submits it. Once a document is to an underwriter, that's it. No going backwards. I'm sure Eric can attest to that. And, we just know that you cannot take back something that they've already seen. So for a new home buyer, getting pre-approved, well, it's not too early to get pre-approved, so that you know what you have to do to get through those hurdles. And it may take a little bit extra time to get things done, but us in the realtor and lender business, there is, we're working right.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up just
Eve,
a bit.
To try and get my tips for discussion. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll end it there. So there's no rest for the weary here in the mortgage business.
Absolutely not. I'm sure that anyone in real estate, there's no rest for the weary in general.
No, but you touched on a great point. Do you mind if I jump in here, Lucy?
Of course. I mean, no, I don't.
I picked it up. I picked up what you were putting down. So I love that you operate as a partner in the midst of the process. I know that the lenders on this call are exactly those kind of people. That's why we jive. So it's a great point, especially when you're shopping around the holiday season and you're having your finances looked at this time of year. Maybe you don't want to wait till February or March. Maybe you want to get started now. Talk with them. What are you seeing when you look at my numbers? What am I living? What do I have above the line that I have to play with? If the goal is to not be getting in debt, giving gifts, then how do I structure my holiday season and lean on you as a partner, a lender in this process? I think that's a huge piece of it. And that trust goes a long way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's a great addition, Alannah. Thank you. Anybody else have anything to add to that? Yeah, go.
So, off topic, not adding to that, but adding to just the holiday season and what's going on. One of the big things, as we all know, is communication with your realtor, with your lender, with yourself. But now more than ever, people are traveling for the holidays. I know not as much as usual, but you have to make sure you're letting people know when you're going to be out of town. You should be getting asked those questions by your professionals that are working with you. However, if something does come up that they did ask and things have changed, let them know, hey, I'm going to be out of town over New Year's. I'll be out of town for Christmas week. All that stuff plays a role, and you have to have that. So right now, that's a huge thing with the holidays, everything else. Just make sure you're communicating on, if you're leaving town, where you're going to be, reception, things like that, because there's critical documents that need signed electronically. If you're heading to the mountains for Christmas in, Georgia, North Carolina, and don't have reception, that's something we need to know so we can kind of game plan for everything.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is have your realtor and your lender and even your title company on speed dial if you're purchasing a home. Okay.
Got it.
Like any changes, like, by the way, I'm eating this bologna sandwich right now. Like, thank you.
You cannot over communicate when you're buying a home, plain and simple.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. Does anybody else have anything to add with the holiday season and just tips for that? I mean, I don't know if, yes, go ahead, Peter. Yeah.
You know, I really believe that your families and your friends are going to understand if for just 1 year around the holiday season while you were trying to purchase a home, you kind of kept the holidays within means. I really don't think that anybody's going to look at you down or negatively if you just take a little bit of time and understand the gravity of the situation. You know, if you're trying to close before the end of the year and you're thinking whether you should purchase gifts on your credit card or not, that's not even a question. And we will be there to guide you during that process and to calm your nerves and let you know that, listen, family understands, friends understand, but this is a very important transaction in your life. And in order for it to go the way that you want it to go, you definitely have to look at it a lot bigger than one season.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Great advice. Go ahead, Katey.
I was going to touch on, don't put too much on your credit card. So Peter, you hit the nail on the head with that. NAR is releasing some statistics during COVID that there were very few, which is unexpected. There's a very low amount of people that actually added credit card debt during this pandemic. So now is not the time to break those rules and those habits. Like Codi said, stay frugal. And Peter, you know, I did the same thing when I purchased a home during the holiday season. I said, hey, I'm buying myself a house and you guys can all come visit. And I sort of did, you know, a free pass, you know, or future airline ticket, or, you know, instead of gifting and just spending money. So that's one little idea that you can do and kind of change it up and start a new tradition during the holiday season, potentially.
Certificates. You get 1 hour of my time. No,
yes.
And
Katey, if you're giving out airline tickets for Christmas, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, we need to talk, Katey.
The best part about it is no one has taken us up on the offer yet. So it's still like a gift card that hasn't been used.
Mine got lost in the mail, Katey. I've been waiting for years.
We did and that's a great idea
for people to come visit us, and that was, you know.
Well, and that's a great idea. I mean, I took a very different track when I was like coming up with creative ways to be really frugal before a big purchase. And it manifested as making more family games where like adults play Dirty Santa, or the game with the big ball, and you wrap it up and everybody contributes a little something and it becomes more like an experience and a game. And that has turned into some of probably my best holiday stories as a result of those.
I always tell people that experiences are better than possessions. So any opportunity that you have to be able to do an experience rather than a possession, they're going to remember that over gifts. But
and it helps when you're buying a house.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, want to come spend a day in my house? Like you can. But when it comes to those purchases, do any of the lenders on here actually have some advice on what is considered a large purchase that is going to be like looked at? Like how much is too much?
That I guess I'll jump in for a bit. So honestly, that's a very open-ended question because it truly depends on what kind of loan they take out, what the interest rate on the loan is, because in the end, it's not necessarily the amount of funds that they pull, it's what that monthly payment is going to reflect that we have to calculate in. So it can change, but I mean, even going out and buying furniture or something, like, don't get me wrong, if you go out to dinner and you use your credit card for $50, that's not going to have an effect 99.99% of the time on anything. But if you go out and you purchase new furniture for a couple $1,000s and now you have a payment that all of a sudden we get a ding on our end that, oh, look, new credit alert. And hey, what's this for? Oh, I bought furniture. Okay, did you pay cash? What do you do? Oh, no, we ended up getting financing, but it's okay. Our payment's only $186 a month. That now we can talk about, we're going to have a little thing like, okay, Now we need to go back to square one and see where we are, because in the end, the big thing with that isn't the amount. It's that monthly payment that's going to factor in typically to debt to income is where we're going to run into issues. So again, before you make any purchase during the process, contact myself, contact Eric, contact Peggy, whoever you're working with, and just simply ask up front. So, and don't hide it like Katey and them said earlier. Hiding stuff, and Lucie, you actually brought it up first. Hiding stuff, it's going to get found out. Yeah, it may not get found out by us, I'll be honest. It may get found out by an underwriter later on. Things are going to get found out. You can't sneak through the process. It's not that easy, and be prepared, because in the end, you're going to be upset. And at that point, when you're upset, you're going to want to blame us. But in the end, as long as we're doing our jobs correct and telling you, then again, it's on us to give you that knowledge. It's on you to apply that knowledge that we're giving you.
Good addition, Tony.
Can
Very
I
good.
add one quick thing? And Tony, go ahead, Lucie.
I do want Eric to be, Eric hasn't been able to say something, so I know that he was trying to get something in.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, it didn't go to the screen. So basically, to wrap up what Tony said, if it's abnormal, if it's something you typically wouldn't do, like Tony said, if you're just going out to dinner, if you're putting gas in your car, you don't need to call your professional every time you're doing that, going to get groceries. But if it's something abnormal, and it could be not only just spending, but let's say you want to close an account, that can have a negative impact. If you want to close a credit card, that can have a negative impact. So anything that's out of the ordinary, reach out to your professional. I think the common theme every time I've been on here is trust your local professional. So trust us and ask us the questions, ask us the why, because I don't want to just say, hey, do this and don't do that, and you don't understand. And I'm sure everybody else is the same. Just ask us the why, and we're happy to explain how it's going to affect you. So anything abnormal, ask.
So, and I just want to be clear for those who are watching. So if it's something abnormal or something that's going to cost you monthly, like what if it's $1,000 purchase, but it's not financed, you're paying cash? Like if you're paying cash or you're paying like from your debit card, does that count?
So that if you're paying cash, you're going to need, it depends. And what I mean by it depends is sometimes you need what's called reserves. So there's different types of loan products. It depends if you're FHA. Sometimes you need those funds. You need the funds to close, or you need excess funds for reserves for qualification purposes. So if it's a substantial amount of money, pick up the phone.
Unless it's couch money that nobody knows about.
Right. Cash is not king in the lending world. We typically don't count green cash. So if you're just spending cash, that's not going to affect it.
Okay, unless you're taking it out of your bank account. Got it.
Yeah, if you're doing that, even some of the smallest amounts, like he said, can make or break something. So just depends on what you actually have liquid in your bank that you can utilize. So again, one of those things, if you're going to spend cash out of the bank, just verify. But again, as we know, at least on this call, wish we could speak to our whole industry, but we can't. Not everybody's going to tell you. I can guarantee you everybody on this call, though, is letting people know, hey, this is what you're going to need for your cash to close after your initial escrow deposit. However, in your situation, we're also going to need these funds, like Eric said, what they call reserves left in the bank. So this is the total amount of funds you're going to need in the bank at closing. As long as you're meeting that amount, feel free to spend. But if you spend over that, yeah, we're going to run into, hey, we either looking into a lender credit, a realtor trying to pitch in, or you're going to have to simply wait and save some more funds until we close. So just make sure you're being smart about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Great advice. All right. I think we've nailed that oh, go ahead, Katey.
Can I just say one fun thing that is really
No.
happening recently? We're talking about bags of cash, mattress money or couch money or whatever. You can't bring that to closing. They're not going to count it at the closing table.
It has to be verified.
You're right.
What's the word, guys?
Source the funds.
No,
Seasoned.
Seasoned. Thank you, Eric.
Yes.
Seasoned money. And I don't mean throwing pepper on your money.
That's the point I was going to make. Not only having, extra credit card balance, but really important is we have to document every single deposit into a person's bank account. And especially if it's over 10% of their income, that's considered a large deposit. And so, during Christmas, people might be getting cash presents from relatives and parents that we have to document that and show it as a gift. And so it's extra work to do in a loan file, but it cannot be ignored. So large deposits are
so make that money cash couch money until you close. No, unless you need it.
Yeah, they gotta give it to you as a check that can be documented. Yeah, we can't take photocopies of cash.
Here's another thing too for you lenders. If you get a cash gift from someone to go towards closing, it has to be a family member, no?
It has to be a
family member or a fiance, a relative,
or like a distant cousin.
Like it can't be a friend, right? It can't be your next door neighbor.
Cannot be a friend. No.
This is a good opportunity for people who are planning to buy around this time next year, though, too. So that couch money can be used for the gifts, but it can't be brought to the closing table. So,
correct.
One of those things that you got to keep in mind going forward. If you plan out your transaction, even if you are doing it around the holidays, you can have the best of both worlds. What we're saying is, if you're under contract right now, these are some of the things you should not be doing.
Correct. Yeah. I love it, guys.
A professional is going to tell you the truth. You may not like it, but your best interest is our duty.
Exactly. What a great way to end that little conversation, Codi. Thank you. So, guys, we did just have the discussion portion of this. If you guys are just tuning in live now, you guys can rewatch this either here on Facebook or on our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services. You can rewatch every week, actually, that we've had in the past on our YouTube channel. But thank you guys to the local professionals who come on here and share their brains with us each week. If you have any questions for them, please reach out to them on their Facebook pages. They are tagged in the description of this video. There's always great content on there, whether you're looking to buy right now or in the future and just want to be up to date. It's always great to follow their pages. And as they've all said, I mean, the camaraderie on this is always amazing. And just any of these local professionals that are on here are going to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're actually going to be informed along the way. So, we don't want you to be lost in the sauce or lost in the process. And I know, I love that. I said that last week and I was like, I have to say it again. But it is a very big process. So, that's why we're coming at you live every week with these new topics in real estate so that you guys get a little bit better understanding of just how much is going on in the process and how much we're really trying to help you guys. And just know that the professionals that are on here that are sharing this information with you are taking time out of their busy days in this crazy market right now to really educate you guys because they do care. So that should show something just in itself, the consistency of them being on here every week. And I'm very appreciative of it. So thank you guys. We are going to go into the second portion of this because this is Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. So what we're going to go over next is each person's top tip of the week. So Peter, start us off. What is your number one top tip of the week?
My top tip in real estate of the week is just be observant of where it is that you are in the process at all times. Really know and understand, what part of the transaction you're in, especially around these times, because if you're not cognizant of what you're doing along the process, you may forget one of those dates, one of those important deposits. You may forget what it is that your next step is going to be. So just be really observant. And like everybody else said here, be vigilant, proactive during your transaction. It's better to do things, especially in real estate, as soon as possible rather than wait till later. So be observant of where you are in the process. Make sure that you're taking some of these tips that we have in this video and some of these other videos and apply them during your process and really take that time out to speak to your real estate professional. whether it be on a business level or a professional level or a personal level, whatever the case may be, get really comfortable with them, because they're helping you make one of the biggest purchases you're making your whole life. They really are. Then we want you to make these purchases. We want them to go well. We want you to move on thinking that in the back of your mind, you're going to want to work with us again in the future. So really help us help you. And outside of that, have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. Everybody, you know, enjoy your family, whether they're far away or whether you're going to have them over your new home when it gets built here in the end of December, whatever the case may be.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. That's awesome. All right, Eric, what's your number one top tip of the week?
So this is top tip of the week. This is for realtors. This is trust your realtor for buyers. When you're making an offer, I have a list of people that I have pre-approved right now that are trying to go in, and we call them lowball offers. They're trying to get the deal. And in today's market, trust your realtor when they tell you you're not gonna go under contract if you offer $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 below asking. Trust your realtor, because you're going to be disappointed if you try to go in too low on these contracts. Property is moving very quickly, and it's time to make the decision. That's my top tip. Trust your realtor on the price.
It's a great, I think we're all going to agree with that one. That's a great tip. All right, Tony, what's your number one top tip?
So I was going to touch on a little bit of that, but not too much. Great point there, Eric. But I was going to say be realistic. I was going to kind of tie it into that on realistic on what you're going to get, not just with the purchase price coming in. Right now, inventory is so low. I know, again, like Eric just said, all the list of pre-approvals, so many buyers pre-approved. I have some clients that literally in the same day, I'm running numbers on the same house on 5 or 6 different individuals because the inventory is so low. So being realistic on what you're going to get the house for. Also, you know, unfortunately, you know, seller concessions on the seller paying some of your closing costs. It's not as easy to find as it was because of the low inventory and competitive market. So you need to be realistic on what you're going to be able to get from the sellers. And then outside of that, with the be responsive is be proactive, be diligent. Because right now, homes are flying off the shelf when they hit. You have to be ready. You have to be prepared. Lollygagging around is not going to help you in this market. You may look at a home this morning and it may be gone by the time you make a phone call to go see it in an hour. So be responsive, be proactive, and be diligent.
Great tip. And to comment on that really quick, I was just on the Realtors Association this morning, and they said that before, our average days on the market in St. Lucie County was like 45 days last year, and now it's at 14 days average days on the market. What? That's crazy. So when it's getting crazy, we're not lying here, guys. It's insane out there. So just wanted to add that in because you had mentioned that, Tony, with how competitive it all is out there. Peggy, what's your number one top tip of the week?
Okay, Peggy Hornick with East Coast Mortgage Lenders, and my top tip is to get pre-approved early. It's never too early to get pre-approved, because if you need to jump on an offer, and if you're looking at properties, you need to get it pre-approved before your realtor can take you out and even start emailing you properties, because they are going so quick. You're not going to have time to hurry up and get pre-approved at the last minute. Plus, that will, highlight any kind of hurdles we need to get over before you get into contract. That one. And then also, if you are in contract, respond quickly to requests for documentation, for e-signs, everything. Your professionals know what they're doing. They're not just going to ask you for things that we don't need. If you respond quickly, we'll get you to the closing table on time. And choose your team wisely, and we all work together, and locals will get the job done for you. That's my top tip.
Love it. Thank you, Peggy. All right, Katey, what's your number one top tip of the week?
I typically continue on with the same tip, and Peggy and Eric and Tony are all we're all working together. We're all on the same page. Please, please, please trust your local real estate professional to guide you through the process. Trust your local mortgage lender contact to guide you through the process. Time is of the essence. I mean, it's what is important today has been important for the last couple of months. It's going to continue this way probably through spring. So get pre-qualified now and pay attention to what information the realtor is giving you, because we have the data. Like Eric said, we're not going to steer you in the wrong direction. We want to help you. That's our goal, like Codi said. And Peter, our goal is to get you to the finish line. So please trust your local real estate professionals to get you over the hurdles and challenges and sometimes stress through the process. But it should be rewarding at the end of the day for everyone involved.
Absolutely. If you have the right team behind you, it's going to get done right. Love it. Codi, what's your top tip of the week?
So I got a couple things here. It's Codi, Bourgeois Real Estate Group. I think that you should pick one of the professionals from this panel for your next real estate transaction and have the greatest holiday season. But the game has changed. Remember the phrase, Johnny on the spot. So houses are moving like crazy, whether it's a purchase or a rental, they just don't sit on the market long at all. I constantly give information for the same house to multiple people. It's crazy. So it's like I tell people now, you have to be Johnny on the spot. That means that you have to get your money right. So whether it's a purchase, get pre-qualified, let us know what you can spend. We can find you a place and start the process to get you in. It has to be done quickly. If it's a rental, you got to make sure that you can prove your income with pay stubs. Letters don't work anymore. You got to have 3 times your monthly budget liquid and ready to go. So be Johnny on the spot, because everything is moving quickly. It's crazy.
It is, Codi, honestly. So my top tip of the week is going to be communication. Communication. Did you hear me say communication? Just in case you didn't hear it the first time. It is so important in the process, and just understanding everybody's piece of the puzzle. The local professionals that you're working with, or that you should be working with if you're moving to the area, are gonna be the key to helping you understand that process. So knowing that your realtor, if you guys aren't using a realtor right now and you guys are trying to find a house on your own through whatever platform you might be doing it, call a local professional, especially if you're buying a house. I've said this in previous weeks. It's so important because a lot of people don't know, but a realtor doesn't cost the buyer anything. A realtor doesn't cost the buyer anything. I feel like people really don't get that. Like it's something that they need to understand. And I feel like don't let a bad experience with a less professional person get you down to the point where you feel like another professional can't do the job better. Because there are so many people that want to do it on their own and they feel like they can because they feel like they can do a better job. But we're in this every single day. The local professionals that are on here, I swear, will work for you and by you and make sure that you are taken care of and communicate with you guys. So just do not, like Peggy said earlier, do not sacrifice that experience, because it does mean something in this industry. And the professionals, again, that are on here are top-notch professionals, so they will make sure that you guys are taken care of. And just having that great team behind you guys. So thank you guys, everybody who comes on here again. And we're going to go quickly into the announcements portion. So if anybody has any announcements, swing them at them, and then we'll close this out for today. So Peter, do you have anything to announce?
I'll be doing an open house over at Grand Realty, Grand Construction, I apologize, on Saturday at 6083 Northwest East DeVille Circle. If anybody wants to come and stop by and see me in Torino, get to understand the grand difference, just come on by on Saturday from 9 to 5.
And that's a beautiful model too. And new construction is popping right now.
That's right.
Awesome. All right, Eric, anything coming up?
We have some really good stuff going on in the mortgage world right now. And Tony and Peggy, I'm sorry if I steal this from you. About a week or two ago, conventional loan limits, it was announced that conventional loan limits went up by about $38,000. So a conventional loan limit is $548,250. We got a little announcement as well on FHA. FHA followed suit and has increased by about 25,000. FHA is going to vary county to county, but that's huge. That's huge for buyers. That's huge for realtors. It's a great thing for buyers. So.
Awesome. That's awesome information. Thank you for sharing that. Look at the little tidbits all over the place. I love it. What about you, Tony?
Honestly, Eric was right. He stole it.
He stole that thunder.
I got some info here, so I actually have the numbers pulled up for us locally here. So just a heads up for FHA, like Eric said, FHA, it depends on what county you're in. So Palm Beach actually is going from 373 to 402 for the new limit. St. Lucie and Martin counties are the same. It was 350, 750. It is now increasing to actually 381, 800. So the buying powers here in St. Lucie and Martin County is going to be tremendous with FHA. And then if you're stretching up into Indian River, they were the lowest actually for FHA limits. They're going from roughly 331 to 356.
Wow, awesome. Love it. Thanks for the numbers. Look, Peggy, what about you? Any more?
Yeah, thanks guys. You gave the numbers so I didn't have to look on my whiteboard in my office up here. No, the only thing I can add is that interest rates are still low. So the buying power for a first-time home buyer is huge. Your mortgage payment is going to be lower than what you're going to have to pay in rent. So let's talk and we can get you pre-approved to get you into a new home where you don't have to pay rent anymore.
Yes, love it. Love it. Katey, anything coming up? I know she always got something coming up.
Yes. So I'm going to, if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen real quickly and give me a thumbs up if you can see what I've got. Awesome. So it's sort of unrelated to what we're talking about, but make some plans. The city of Stuart, they're not doing a parade this year like they usually do for the holidays. People aren't having parties. You know, it's weird out there. The good news is the realtors, the local realtors have worked with the city of Stuart to create this Santa's City Lights display. Bourgeois Real Estate Group is going to be participating. So this is a free event and you're basically outdoors in Memorial Park in downtown Stuart. And you can walk through the park and look at all of these beautiful decorated trees from area businesses and your favorite local realtors. So the event starts on December the 12th. From 5 to 9, we will be there in person to kind of hobnob and whatever, elbow bump. And then the trees, most of the trees will remain up until the 28th. So this is not just a one-day event. You can actually go to downtown, have dinner or shop, and then go over to Memorial Park and walk around and take a look at those trees and get some of that holiday cheer that we're all desperately in need of.
Love it. And we will actually be there too. Arrow Title Services will have a tree. Maybe it'll be next to Katey's.
Yeah, awesome.
I love, and I just want everyone to notice at the bottom of the screen how it says, "Cowbells ring, are you listening?" Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it, Katey. If you don't know Katey, she loves cowbells. All righty. So, Codi, anything coming up?
I just want everyone to have a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season. And I'm available if you need any real estate transactions.
Love it. And we do this live every week every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you don't happen to be on the East Coast. And we do come up with a new topic each week to talk about. So if you guys are just tuning in now and missed this conversation, please rewatch it. Again, you can rewatch it on our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services, or here on Facebook. But every week we come with a new topic. So make sure that you guys stay tuned. Make sure you guys like our Facebook page, Arrow Title Services, so that you guys can stay tuned when we go live again. We also have Market Update Monday. That's every Monday at 2 p.m. And that's where if you're looking to kind of look at houses and everything, that side is when the realtors come on and they get to showcase listings that they currently have. So it's a whole nother type of platform. Katey obviously has 2 coming up, so I guess you guys got to tune in on Monday. But thank you guys to everyone who watches this live. I know that you guys appreciate this, and I hope that you guys find value from these videos because they are truly amazing, and I really do appreciate the local professionals who come on here and share their big brains. So if you guys, again, if you are a realtor or a lender and you're watching and you want to join us next week, reach out to me, come on down. The live is fine. And we will see you guys next week on Thursday at 2 p.m. for Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. You guys have an amazing rest of your week. See you then. Bye.